Yeah. Hello, you can come in.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Related.
I know. That's why he brought a plant.
It's a Christmas New Year plan.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. This is the NYC chat room with Tiffany and Lauren. Today we're going to be doing Marriagebootcamp Hip Hop Edition, episode 7 we're at right now. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you thought about the episode. And if you have any opinions, leave it in the comment section below. So we're going to start this episode off with the way we probably normally do it. We're going to start with Jessica Dime and her fiance Sean. This episode, they kind of got more into their feelings about their past and things that's happened to them, and you know, ways of possibly how it shapes the decisions they make, you know, as an adult. So it allowed them to see how things that have happened in their past are, you know, kind of manifested over the years with their decisions and things like that. So Jessica talks about her dad and how she said how she begged him to not to leave, and he still ended up leaving. And sometimes she feels that now, or Sean was saying it too, she'll make like excuses to try and keep him in the house or things so that he won't leave, because she has now this phobia or this feeling of always feeling like someone's going to leave her. So she wants to pretty much
Fear of abandonment.
Yeah, fear of abandonment. That's what it was. So she doesn't like, she always does, she tries not to be combative, she says, or try not to start arguments, because she always has a fear of someone leaving, scaring them off.
So it seems like she really internalized her father leaving as being something that she could have done.
Her fault.
Or, you know, that she wasn't good enough. So that was touching. So for me, I feel like this was the first time that we heard any
substance.
Yeah, substance from Jessica Dime, because I feel like, wow, that's really crazy how she seems so like accommodating to Sean,
right.
And I think to hear why that was, I think it was very apparent.
And then she probably, you know, it's so funny that you don't realize yourself too. Like some of the things you're like, I'm fine. That's happened in my childhood. I don't really think it affected me. But then when you really sit back and think about things, you really see how things from your childhood really do affect you if you don't address it, or you don't take care of it, or you don't try to figure out why certain things are. So this episode really was not even a learning experience for them, but it really does make you think about yourself and things that have happened in relationships that you put yourself into.
I think a lot of times we mistake that if we're not crying and sobbing that we're not affected.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm still not sad. So you don't always have to be sad to have a profound effect from something, event from your childhood or from your past in general.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, that was interesting to find out about her. Sean, he spoke about, what did Sean speak about?
Just the violence of growing up in the hood and
things
just
becoming
be
normal,
tough and just having to be emotionless, and just the rough nature and the traumatic war zone that he grew up in. Yeah,
and that's the reason, you know, a few of the guys said that they don't cry because pretty much the pain is something that's just normal now, and it's something that they're just used to, and it just happens. So I think it was an epiphany for Sean too, when he, you know, kind of put 2 and 2 together for Jessica Dime too, as to why, you know, she does some of the things she does. So their little thing was, you know, it was cute for them to really get a better understanding of each other in that moment.
Right.
Next we have Tiffany and Lil Fizz, aka Drew.
Be nice to Fizz, you know, don't say anything mean.
Fizz still ain't shit. Okay? Fizz, even this episode, it was like, I mean, everybody's feelings are different, okay? Fizz, you know, that could be really where he's coming from up in his spirit. But he really was, I don't feel like he digs deep. I don't.
I think he did. He shared that, you know, They had the exercise where they did like graffiti street art, I guess, in keeping with the hip hop theme.
Right.
They had them
I
playing
didn't even put that together.
They had them working with spray paint and just doing little murals of their best childhood memory versus their worst childhood memory.
Yeah.
Fizz talks about a Christmas. Drew talks about a Christmas where, you know, his mom was able to work a miracle. So that was a really positive memory for him. He also talked about in this episode the pressure of feeling like he had to do for his household, for his mom to be the man of the house, so to speak, I guess because his dad wasn't there for him. You know, a few of the men got emotional during some of these exercises, and Fizz was one of them. And I feel like he did share some personal stuff, you know, of feeling like he got really deep and really risky and really comfortable when he talked about how his passion is not music, and he felt obligated to pursue that because it was available to him and he felt like he needed to provide.
I can't even think about, have we really heard Fizz sing alone?
He was the rapper. He was the rapper.
I thought that was the other one. Okay.
Wasn't he?
I thought it was the other one.
J Boog?
No.
Or Raz B?
Raz B.
Was he? I don't even know.
I don't know. They wasn't our time, really. They came after. I was an immature.
The only lead singer we really heard was Omarion. I can't remember any of them singing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Really. Like, I don't know how they came about to be a group. I don't know if it was something we're friends. I don't know if they were just a man-made group. I'm not sure.
Well, I think Fizz. Should I keep talking? Or should I wait until?
No, okay.
Go ahead.
I don't remember what I last said.
So yeah, I feel like he was there to give us a light-skinned, curly hair, pretty boy tease. Trying to give us a ray of chocolate.
Maybe, but I still, I don't know.
But I don't think, you know, it's not that hard to harmonize. I mean,
that's true.
You ain't got
because
really
he made it
no
seem
note.
like, you know, it was so hard for him to become a famous singer. Let me leave Fizz alone.
You know what? I feel him though. It's like, you know, I guess he felt like he was gonna be in the NBA at 5'7". That was.
Yeah, I guess he said that was what he thought he wanted to be a basketball player.
That was his childhood dream. His passion was basketball.
I don't know if he was any good.
Fell into being in the music industry. I felt for him because, you know, I know that there are certain dreams that I have as an individual.
That's true.
And maybe something that you don't really love is what you have to do to pay the bills. I think a lot of people.
I can understand. All right, Fizz, I give you all right.
Give Fizz some credit.
All right, I give you a little.
Right? So I feel like he did express himself and give a little something this episode. Tiffany was very emotional.
Tiffany was,
and it was
like
right under the surface. Like I felt like all they had to do was say
to get this out,
and she was done. She was crying. She was just a bag of emotion and weeping and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was rough for her this episode. She does, because she spoke about her mom always being in abusive relationships. Right, so Tiffany pretty much had this episode where she talked about, you know, her and her mom and the abuse that her mom suffered from men that she's dated, and pretty much she had to suffer it too with her mother. She spoke about one particular incident where the man pushed her and the mother out of the car. Did she say it was moving still? Out of a moving car.
That particular comment made me wonder who went out first. And it's hard to drive and just be like,
I'm pushing everybody out.
Like, it didn't make functional sense to me. I'm not going to question her story. I guess I kind of am, but it's just like the second person didn't see the
unless mommy was holding her. Maybe they were like tussling and then she grabbed her and maybe he just pushed both out. That's a possibility. Or maybe mom was trying to get out and he wasn't letting her out. Whatever the situation is, it was a crazy story, and it sounds like a lot to be going through as a child. And you could tell she seeks love. You can tell that's what she wants. She wants stability. She wants a real situation. She wants a real relationship. And
she has a lot of anger, kind of like Jessica Dimes. She's just not as like boisterous, I guess.
Yeah.
On other shows, we've seen her like really ready to fight, and you know, just really volatile. And she talked this. She said that, you know, when she was talking about Little Mo's situation, she was like, "Oh, I would have turned the house into the bad girls club." And I believe her. I believe that she's very violent, but who wouldn't be coming from a situation where you're watching? And violence. She said herself that a relationship she's been in, she's had men beat her
Yeah,
up.
she said other than her child's father. Is that what she
Yeah.
said?
But she
Men
didn't
have
say
always.
fizz, though.
She did, and I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that moment.
But I think
I don't think he's hit her. I
he's
think
hit-
emotionally he's been abusive.
I think he's hit Mo Nia's.
You
I
think so?
hesitate to say that because there was this one episode where
I do
she
remember.
was bugging and he
Yeah.
grabbed her and she shut right down like she knew.
They always have that weird type of relationship though, him and Moniz. I don't know. They know they can never be together, but they have a weird type of dysfunctional happiness between the two of them. And anyone that comes in that realm has to deal with that.
I think that's for TV. Because
You don't think so?
They've said a couple times that their communication is very limited, and he has told her, "Don't text me unless it's about the child." Like they don't even speak, but they pretend like they have this working good relationship.
No. I don't think they have a good relationship at all. I think they're just very dysfunctional, but I think somehow it works. Their dysfunction works for them because anytime he's either in a situation or she's in a situation with someone, somehow the two of their relationship is always in it. It's always what's going on between the two of them that either has something to do with, the dysfunction of their own personal relationships with other people. So
Yeah, I think Moniz is crazy.
yeah, I don't know. But the whole Tiffany situation, she did say, everybody has pretty much abused her in some way other than her child's father. And that's tough. And I'm sure that has taken a lot on her mentally over the years.
Is serious. I know friends personally who witnessed domestic violence, and it's very easy for them to accept it in their adult life because it's just like a norm.
Right. Which is what a lot of them were saying, that the violence and everything becomes so normal that they don't see an issue with it.
Yeah.
You hear about people getting into like relationships or situations and you're like, how are you always in this situation? Like, how are you always with someone who's either abusive or whether it be mentally, physically, whatever? How are you always how are you always
toxic
or you just go into the store and you get into some fight with bottles and knives? Like, how are you always in this type of situation? So it makes you wonder, like, it's something within that person or you that you got to really fix. And I think with Tiffany, it's something that she really needs to take a minute and figure herself out because she is damaged.
She is.
She's very damaged.
I hope that she gets help. She seems like she takes good care of herself. Attractive. Just go get some counseling.
Yeah, she definitely needs the counseling.
I wonder what her relationship is now with her mom because that seems like that'd be rough to get over.
Yeah.
Because you can't have children and take them along for these crazy rides. So I know if I were her, I would be looking at my mom crazy like, why would you put me through that?
Put me in all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely a interesting episode for her too. She really did open up. And then when they even brought out the child that was her with the band-aids on her knees, like, she broke down in that moment.
It was just too easy. They were just like childhood.
Yeah.
So everything they were doing,
she's traumatized. She's beyond traumatized with things that have happened to her.
Yeah.
So next we're going to talk about Waka Flocka and Tammy. Again, they had the exercise where they did the mural. Waka Flocka pretty much did dots for all the people he's lost in his life, and Tammy also did some things for people who was lost in her life. She talked about her brother and cousins, and she said about an uncle who was bringing her money for her birthday and ended up getting shot right in front of her. So she has also witnessed a lot of violence, which pretty much the whole cast has expressed, witnessing violence.
Isn't that crazy that she talked about so someone witnessing a murder of anyone, let alone a loved one, and she said in the past that her mother would ask her like, "Why are you so angry, Mom?"
Yeah.
If someone witnesses a murder, I would think that would give them
and
some
it's probably
emotional
because it sounds like maybe her mother has also been through the same cycles of, listen, this is life, this is what we go through, this is what you got to deal with,
so last year.
Right? Like, get over that.
Yeah. So
she's probably become very hardened, and that's why Tammy is the way she is too, as far as being hardened as well. So yeah, that was her breaking down, and Waka Flocka pretty much said the same thing as far as, this is just, it's life. This is what happens. This is something that constantly happens. It just becomes normal. You know, that's why he expressed, you know, what am I crying for? It's going to happen again, pretty much. Was his outlook on the whole situation.
I think he was really trying also. I don't think he was tempted to cry, but I think he would never let himself cry on TV. Even if they were like hitting something, he was just like, oh, he was kind of making fun of the other men, like, oh yeah, he was crying. Like,
yeah.
He was like, hell no. I think he was very committed to being like this. What, cry for what? Like, he was trying to be this man.
Yeah, he was. You can tell, but you could tell when he spoke about his brother, you know, dying. Because I remember one brother, he committed suicide? I think it was his younger brother that committed suicide some years ago. I know that hurt him too, because he spoke about that as well years ago. That was Deb Atney's younger son too, his mother. They didn't even realize how depressed the brother was when he did end up dying some years ago. So I'm sure he carries that as well, as far as that being painful. But like she said, he's never going to really express, not saying that he has to cry in order to express himself, but he's never going to really honestly show himself to anyone, I don't think. Yeah, so that was pretty much what they had in this episode. They didn't have too much drama. Theirs was pretty light.
Tammy did reveal that she was sexually abused when she was growing up, but she wasn't really ready to get into the details of that. She
said she didn't realize it till an adult. So I don't know if maybe it was like some type of like young relationship that she had with maybe like an older person. That, you know, younger people, you tend to think you're older in that moment. But then when you become an adult, like, that was abuse.
Like
that shouldn't have happened.
You're dating a 26-year-old man.
Right.
And you thought, like, oh, we're in this together.
Yeah, we're together. And then as an adult, you're like, that shouldn't have happened. That was wrong. Because she was saying, you know, if her daughter was in any type of situation like that, she would lose it. So, yeah, I think it was...
I didn't think about it like that. But yeah, that sounds plausible.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably, you know, what it was. And she said she wasn't ready to talk about it. So she just kind of left it at that. But yeah, so it shows, you know, a lot of where her anger comes from. All right, so next we're going to talk about Soulja Boy and Nia. Soulja Boy really showed his soft side. He ended up crying when he was talking about his mom. Again, Soulja Boy is a jerk, but I still have a little something there for him. I do. He gets to me a little bit, because you could tell that he's just...
The way you feel about Fizz is the way that I feel about Soulja Boy. I feel like he's an overgrown baby.
He is. He is that.
You know, he talked about his parents got a divorce, and he was given a choice, and when he chose his dad, his mom pretty much went ghost, and he was just so like hurt by her abandonment and always wanted his mom. And as a woman watching that, I wanted to reach out to him and give him a hug, like, oh, baby.
That's the mother and all of us.
And then when he was done, all the women on the cast jumped up and
just, gave him a hug.
But I think that's what he counts on. So when the women jumped up, I know they were feeling how I was feeling watching that as a woman, like, oh. And I think that's the dynamic of his relationships. Where it's like, be there for me. I think I'm gonna kill myself.
Right. That's
I'm so
how
strung out. And then the women are like, and then he gives them nothing back because he feels like it's all owed to him because of his mommy issues.
Right.
So, you know, women, I think we really need to be careful to not try to mother men, because that's not a relationship. That's not a natural dynamic. So if you have a man who's looking for, you know, a motherly figure, to a certain extent, that can become really dysfunctional, because when you're a mom, being a mother a lot of times is a one-way dynamic.
It is.
I care for my children. They're not here to also provide me with emotional support. I'm there for them. So if you're in a relationship with a man like Soulja Boy, you're always going to be giving and giving and giving and giving
until you're empty.
And he's going to be like, what? You know, like you're like a mom. So
and I think it is. It's just in our nature to be, you know, nurturing and want to take care of things and come into, you know, a man's life and get it together if it's not, and, you know, maintain him and his mental. You know, that you always see that in art and other things too, is the woman being, you know, the backbone, the this, the that, the strong. Like, we are always supposed to be the strong person behind them. And men can just continue to, you know, mess up and mess up and mess up and mess up, and we have to keep being that strong until they're ready to, you know,
on top
they're built
of
up.
Being a succubus, he has tantrums like a child. He's like a spoiled brat who needs a mom to come on and say, "That's enough. Have a seat."
And you see, he does change when that does happen.
Yeah.
When somebody's like, "Stop it, behave yourself." Yeah. He kind of sits back and thinks about it, like, "Okay, I was wrong. Bad. I'm sorry." Yeah. So you see that he does need that.
He's too old to behave this way, and I don't have a soft spot for him. I feel like I'm gonna save all my fucks for emotionally well-adjusted men who are adults who have something to offer me back.
Yeah, that's true.
So even though I'm even checking myself on that instinct when he was talking, I wanted to be like, "Oh my god!" But then I was like, wait, hold up." I had to check myself. Like,
he can be douchey.
Soldier, like, look at the way you behave.
Yeah,
you need to take some responsibility for yourself.
And that's the thing. I don't think he takes accountability and responsibility for his actions.
Yeah,
he'll say, "I'm sorry, sorry, sorry" all day long.
Yeah, and that's what children do. So my kids do. You're just told me all day, "Sorry, mommy." Like, it's just nothing, just to say sorry. But it's like change behavior. Are we getting any of that?
And that doesn't happen.
So I just feel like with Soulja Boy, I am empathetic that, I mean, his mom, she really did him dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know what her story is.
And then it's like, who does he have in his life, his personal life now, other than, you know, Nia, to be that person that, you know, womanly.
And he sucks the life out of her.
He does. Okay. You can see that.
She is drained.
And she tries, you know. Like, she keeps saying, I worry about him. Like, you can tell she's taken on that role and that burden of being his wrangler.
I wonder if his dad is giving him any feedback, like, "Yo, you can't treat women like this."
Because who knows how his father treats women?
It's even
we don't
like,
know.
Going back to the whole breakfast thing where it was like, say thank you. These are things I have to tell my small children.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say thank you? And he's still not getting it.
No.
And I think there's some responsibility back on him, despite him having that very traumatic and unfortunate situation with his mom, to mother himself.
Yeah, because you're an adult now, so you have to try and fix it. You know, even if you feel like it's out of hand, it's something that you got to do. You have to think of ways to fix it now to make yourself whole again.
I mean, most people, I'm not gonna say most people, but there are a lot of people out here who didn't have perfect parents, and we have to deal with that. So it's nothing that, you know, I'm saying from a pedestal, like, "Oh, my parents were great, so I can't even identify with you." It's just Soulja Boy, like, you know, he needs to get the help he needs and to grow up and stop using these crutches as an excuse to treat people like dirt.
That's true. Yeah,
I don't have a soft spot for him,
but I still do, because when he broke down, you can tell he's that.
And that's
hurt
what he counts
boy.
on. He counts on us women doing that. That's how he gets in relationships. From us women being like, "Oh my God, you're so hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, you need me." No, stand on your own too.
Yeah. No, I do feel that he does need to seek some type of help to figure himself out, because it's not going to get any better, and he's going to keep getting, you know, into these relationships, and he's going to keep, like, even we just saw him on social media say something about Black China that was unnecessary. Like, Soulja Boy, just sit down. They dated for like a couple of weeks or something, and then TMZ, I think it was TMZ, who reported like, "Oh, Soulja Boy and Black China are over," and he was like, "Man, I just want to know what that pee felt like." Like, Soulja, was that necessary? Like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just been like, it ended, right? And then he came back like, "Oh, my, that was like something was hacked." He said something stupid afterwards, but it's just like, what do you have, Tourette's? Like, just relax, like, calm yourself down.
She probably curved him, because, you know,
she probably
trying to change him out.
Because she said all he wanted to do, allegedly, all he wanted to do was go out and party and do this and do that, and she just was like, "Let's just relax for a minute," which is something you could tell he can't do. So, yeah, Soulja Boy need to figure it out.
Her anyway, because, you know, she likes some like
fresh
out of high school,
right? Where she could mold them. Like, no, this is what you're going to do. So, that was Soulja Boy. And Nia spoke about, what did she speak about?
Her rape. She was raped at 15.
Yes, she talked about being raped at a young age. I'm trying to think of like how that can factor into.
Well, I think that even in other shows, whenever he's doing his antics, she just gets very like, whatever. So she seemed just real like disconnected from reality and what's happening right now.
Right. Okay.
And I think that she's just generally defeated. I think that,
I do think she's very defeated.
so she said she can just throw this wall up. I think she walks around with it up, and she just does this whole like, when he's the craziest of crazy. Now we see her yelling on this show, but in previous shows, she just been like,
right. She just, and then you see her sometimes even on here. She just sits there like, okay, this is just him. This is what he's gonna do. He's gonna blow up. He's gonna say crazy things.
right. When he's like, sorry, she's like, okay, here's my apology. Yes, I do.
Yeah, no, because she knows it's not real.
Yeah.
She knows it's not real, and she knows he's going to do it again next week.
Right.
He's going to be his crazy self or say something crazy, or that is, and I feel for her because it just seems like a very exhausting situation to be in.
Yeah. And she has these moments of they both are like children having tantrums, like leave me alone.
Yeah, and that's what we saw at the close of the episode when you know, everybody was in bed, going to bed. They went to bed, and you could hear them on their mics, like, do you want to talk? She asked him, do you want to talk to me or something like that? And he was like, about what? And she was like, just talk. And then all of a sudden, he just blew up at her. I
think he asked her, why are you over there? He expected that she would get back in the bed.
Yeah, and console him.
And she was like, eh. And he was like...
Right, because I think it's probably because she's like, I asked you what's wrong. And because you kept saying, you know, about what, she was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed then. He expected her to come there and hold him and say, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Speak to me. Yeah. And when she didn't do that, he was like, oh, so you just going to go lay down? Like, that's kind of, you know, how men say women are.
And then she shut down and then got into her little brat situation.
Yeah.
So they were both like two children. And so he's saying something to her, and she's like, shut up and leave me alone. And he's like, who are you talking to? And the way he ran after her, they cut the show right there.
They did. They stopped it.
I want to see what you about to do. You running up. That's
I guess
crazy.
we're going to see next episode. Because she was like, let's just do it in silence. Like, just shh. If we tired of each other, let's be tired. What did he say? She was like, I'm tired or I'm over it. And he was like, I'm over it too. And she's like, well, let's just be over it in silence. Like, just, she was just like, just shut up. Yeah. And he would not stop. He doesn't know how to stop. So,
I wonder if all of these individuals, not having to do with the relationships, if they were ever given or sought counseling in their young adult lives.
I don't think so, because they also
witnessing murders and rapes.
They said that, because even
heavy things.
You know, Mo said that. She was like, I wish they would have gotten me some type of counseling when I was younger, because it doesn't sound like any of them ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
parents, if your children go through traumatic, serious
get them
losses
some help.
or traumas, anything like that, get them help. They can't just sit there and one day
or even if you notice a significant change that you just don't get, like, try and figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, try and figure out what that could possibly be from.
Right.
You know, and bring it to them. You know, make them feel like it's open, an open space for them to talk. Because a lot of times people always say, oh, stay in a child's place, or they don't allow their children to express themselves or speak or anything like that. Allow your child to express themselves. Sometimes it is fluff and it is BS, but, you know, you still listen. You know, because kids, they will test you. They will try and, you know, chip away at your little soft spots that they know they can get to. But just listen.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much all you can do.
I think a lot of parents avoid it because it's too hard to, because you don't really know what to do about it. Like, okay, something is that heavy. It's like, if I let you talk about it and you're really not doing well, what can I do? So let's all just ignore it. But it's better to try to, there's a lot of free services out here. I'll see if I can dig some up, maybe throw some in the description box of just like, you know, hotlines you can call to try to get your kid some help if your kid needs help. That you might not even have to pay for.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely something parents just, you know, try and just listen to your kids, because they turn into adults like this who are, you know, dysfunctional and
I think they're
all
doing
over the
really
place.
well, all things considered, because some people that come from these situations turn to drugs.
They do.
They just cannot make it. So these are fairly
functional adults. And you do see that a lot in the music industry, because now at this point they have money and they have things that are, you know, at their dispense easier than, you know, the average person. So sometimes it does become their demise when the more famous they become, because they have so much to be able to take, and then people just saying yes, 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 yes all the time, you know, and they've never dealt with what they had to deal with as a child. You see a lot of people either in rehab or end up overdosing or dying or whatever the case may be, and they're just sad individuals. Regardless of how much money they have, you can tell that they're just sad all the time. So it's still something that needs to be taken care of when they're young and when they go through things like that. So lastly, we have
Mo and Carl.
Lil Mo and her husband Carl. Their last couple episodes have been a little rough with this conversation, this FaceTime conversation that Carl was having
with this
toxic
marriage,
with this mystery woman. It's very, very toxic,
codependent, ugly.
Yeah,
he has no respect. You cannot have a relationship without respect.
Yeah, and he just like we say how Soulja Boy is a child, so is Carl. Carl is very juvenile in his behavior and the way he acts,
his
and
thought process, his expression, everything.
The way he expresses himself, the way he speaks, you can tell he's
stunted.
Just he's very childish in his ways. Like the way he tried to like buff up on the doctor, like, what are you doing? Because he called you out.
Yeah, and I think he's able to, in his everyday life, he's able to get over on Mo. And in a situation, they're having a conversation about this FaceTime. This is the episode opens with the continuation from last time, where they're sitting down, they're having a conversation. They're letting Mo know that he said, "Tell me you love me," and he's denying that. And they're hitting him with cold hard facts. And he's telling Mo, he's pretty much directing all of his answers to her, saying, "No, I didn't." Like pretty much,
I didn't tell nobody I love them. I didn't tell nobody. Yeah,
and he didn't say don't listen to them, but that was the presentation. It was like, I'm telling you no,
right?
No. And the doctor, he's just like, but it was after 12 and he's like, he stood up, and really got in this man's face.
He's like, so what are you trying to say? He was like, I'm just saying the facts. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and the doctor kind of got quiet. I know Carl's a boxer, but come on, you a grown man. I don't want to make it in your face like that. I think it's because he should have been off to the side. He
can't show himself not
right?
being. Yeah, he can't be off.
Maybe I need some anger management.
Yeah, because
I would have been like, first of all, back up.
Yeah, he can't do that. He has to show that I'm always in composure. And then you saw eventually Carl sat his little ass down.
He sat down, but he got in his face and he was like, calm down. The doctor had to be quiet. And he was kind of like...
Yeah, but you see that a lot of, when people are in therapy, when they get all hostile and stuff, the doctor is just always calm, like, why are you so angry? What's the problem?
He didn't even address it. He really shut all the way down. And they let him kind of weasel out of answering the question.
Because they weren't going to get an answer.
First and foremost, Mo let him weasel out of answering those questions.
Because they weren't going to get an answer from him.
She let him sleep.
She did.
She's just happy to be with a man.
And then she says, I can't leave him.
Empowered would go to... He's not getting no sleep.
Yeah, she said, I can't leave him because he'll end up dead or in jail. Like, what was he doing before he met you, Mo?
You saw what she did? This relationship is sick. This episode did it for me on Mo and Carl because he fell asleep next to Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
And then, as if somebody did something to him. And then she went and got him to come to the bed. Yeah. And
she was like, come to bed.
He really just passed out and she let him sleep. Like,
yeah,
are you
but then when he came in the bed, she's like, she has the pictures and she's like, who is this? Who is this?
And he was kind of like blowing her off.
Right.
And we see that the argument continue the next day and he's being really violent, like slamming doors.
Yeah, you saw the way she was like, come in here and talk, which they don't have cameras in the bathroom. So she tried to pull him in the bathroom to have the conversation. Yeah. And then we heard her say, don't push me. Yeah. So I definitely think I do think so because
I
even
think he
when
gets her lightly, like he doesn't give her the boxer 1-2.
Yeah, no. But he definitely shakes her or like he said, don't push me. And then when he tried to close the door on her, he slammed the door on her, and then she was like, don't slam no door. And then she was like you could tell she was and then antsy about coming at him.
The emotions are so up and down from moment to moment. So he throws something over the cameras, and then he's like, "Now what was you saying?"
Yeah.
And the next thing you hear, you see the caption, kissing sound.
She's like, what? She's like, I don't even care about the FaceTime, but you gotta let me know what I'm coming into. Like, what do you? So you don't care that your husband was on FaceTime as long as he tells you, so that if the public comes at you, you can say something else. Like, no, that was his sister. I know her. Like, is that what you want? You want him to be able to tell you the BS that he, like, Mo, come on now.
So after pushing you and slamming a door into you,
he can kiss you
avoiding
and
all
go
kind
about
of questions.
your day.
She said something like, "Oh, just let me know if you don't want me to love you anymore."
Yeah,
and
just tell me that.
Mwah.
Yeah.
And now she's present day. She's on social media defending this man,
telling people, "Don't disrespect my husband." Like, he disrespects you.
If somebody standing up for you becomes disrespectful to your spouse, then you already know what time it is.
Right.
The people are talking junk about him in your defense.
Right.
So if he was really on your team, then it wouldn't feel like, oh, okay, I have to choose team Carl.
Yeah,
team
and
Mo.
even like a couple of the things I received, the responses of women coming for, like, being there for her, she then attacks the women and their features and looks and what they got going on.
No, Mo, you're not cute.
Like,
and your attitude sucks because you're being emotionally abused, and it looks like maybe physically abused.
It's definitely some physical going on.
First of all, he couldn't. Again, we said this maybe 3-4 times. But let me just send this home one more good time for you, and I'll never say it again. You're in that house for 10 days, and he had to FaceTime a woman in those 10 days. So imagine what he does
at home
when positively no cameras and no people are around. This is the best he could come up with all that supervision.
And that's why he keeps mentioning there's cameras all around. Like, yeah, so you can't knock her upside her head in front of the camera. That's just our opinions, but I definitely feel like there is some abuse physically going on because she was too jittery. If you rewatch that moment where they were first in the bathroom and then he pushed the door on her and then she kind of pushed him, you saw how flared up she got when she did that. Like, oh, okay, I'm taking it too far. Like, you can tell she got so nervous.
Even pressing the issue, because most women, he went and got any sleep that night, but she knows not to push him too far. Right. It's like, who is this? Okay, all right, go to sleep tomorrow. Right. And the next day it's like, okay, so who was this? And he's like, man, leave me. The way he's like,
we've already what did he say? We established that, we're not gonna, do anything. I'm not gonna go through your phone. You're not gonna go through my phone, and that's what it is. So basically, he's trying to say, like, she knows I cheat. This is what I do. It only becomes a problem. Same thing with T.I. and Tiny. It only becomes a problem when other people are involved.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it seems like. That she said she's just so happy to have this man flaunt her around as his wife that she is willing to take on all types of abuse. She's not
comfortable by herself.
No, and this is not it, Mo. You got how many kids
what was
now?
That is a recent Iyanla Van Zant clip that's going around. Iyanla Van Zant clip. Yeah. That's a tongue twister.
Don't be like
but she was
China's
pretty
mama.
much saying, like, people who are afraid to be by themselves, it's like, if you don't want to be with you, why you think anybody else do? And I really think that little Mo, she's very afraid to be alone, and she's willing to take whatever.
And that's so sad because you can tell he is not good to her. No. He's not. And he's emotionally draining. Like the whole mommy thing again. Like, she's like, oh, I can't leave him. He's gonna end up this, and this. Like, that's his issue.
And they pointed out that she said the same thing about her dad and how she didn't share her pain with her dad because she thought that he was gonna bug out. And now she talked about being abused as well to protect him. I think she's with Carl to stop to just have a body.
Yeah,
that's what because she couldn't even make it through the night mad.
She makes excuses as to why she has to stay with him. Him being in jail or dead, like that. What is that? That is his. That would be his situation. That has nothing to do.
I don't think she went and got him off the couch for answers. I think she went and got him to be in the bed.
Yeah, because she wants to make sure that he's not on FaceTime with the woman again. Like, oh, he ain't coming to bed. Like, oh, let me go see what he's doing. Right. That's pretty much what she said. Yeah. Let me go see what he's doing.
And she actually fell asleep. I would not be able to sleep.
I wouldn't.
And he would not be able to sleep.
And that's how you know this is this is a regular recurrence. Because we see it in social media too. Every time he gets caught, it's put out there. So imagine the times he's not getting caught by us, by the public. But she knows all of this. So she knows what he's out here doing, and she's comfortable with it as long as she has the heads up before people come and start attacking her or attacking him. And don't disrespect my husband. That's why you can't Just let her be.
Yeah.
You can't be in her corner. You can't sit there and give her support, or when something goes wrong, or when she's sitting there crying or anything like that, because that cycle that she's in, she's happy with that cycle in the moment. And people who are in that moment, in that cycle, there's nothing you can say
Anything
to them.
you say, you become the enemy. You could be their best friend, their sister.
You become the one that's wrong.
You hating because you ain't got no man, because you got them red braids in.
It's true. Like, oh, you just mad because you ain't got no man. Where your ring at?
Your whole
Do you
life.
have a ring?
Yeah.
Like, that's what it becomes.
Even if you got a ring, well, that's because your man broke. Like, whatever they can find to clap back, because they don't want to face their
own reality.
So, Mo, you're lost, girl. I'm not gonna. I mentioned her on Twitter, just saying, "Hey, are you good?" And she liked the tweet. But I will say no more, Mo, because you were in your bag, and this is a life that you've chosen, as unfortunate as it is.
And stop trying to be like that man's like you his homeboy. Like you just gotta let me know
That's
what's
the
coming.
best
Like,
you can hope for.
what is that?
That's the best you can hope for.
That's not a husband-wife relationship.
First she came at him on some, let me know, tell me the truth. That wasn't working. Then she had to come on some like, just put me on, son.
Let me know. Don't have me out here. Just I don't even care about the FaceTime. Like, yes you do. Yes you do.
She doesn't feel entitled to care, and that's her husband. So that's really sad. I think of all the couples, I'm gonna make my call on who I feel like should be together. Jessica Dime, yes.
Definitely.
And Sean, they're a couple. Tiffany and Fizz are not a couple. It's clear.
No.
And I don't think they should try to be one. Waka and Tammy, I think they can work it out.
They can. They love that. You can tell they love each other.
Yeah. Love isn't everything. You gotta have respect. You gotta have trust. You gotta have fidelity. All those things. So I think if they continue to work at it, and with some support, they can make it.
Yeah. Waka just needs
Soldier
to
Boy
mature
and Nia, stop it.
They need to separate from, which I think they are now.
Yeah. I know they're separated now. Don't get back together. It's over there.
Yeah. He needs to mature
lastly,
a lot.
Mo and Carl, stop. Mo, be by yourself.
They need to stop. They need to be separated. Because
she needs to fall in love with herself. Because when you fall in love with yourself, you don't take mess like this. And if things happen, you can't control people. But in those cases, you feel empowered to say,
this is not going to happen.
Yeah. You're not
like, and even if I ask you a question and your explanation doesn't make sense, it should be like, okay, that's where you want to keep it. That's your final answer. Got you. And then you move on.
I really think the only reason why he's even explaining to her is because it looks bad on TV.
Yeah.
I think if they were home, he'd be like, yo, get out of my face.
Right.
And she'd have been like, okay,
he probably would have been like, you know what it is. Like, this is what I do.
He's just trying not to look like a douchebag on TV, which failed.
Yeah, for his future hoes that he gets. It's pretty much what it is. He wants to make sure that he looks okay for the future hoes.
And you know what would make me so mad if I were you, Mo? Where he has some of his social media thoughts that expose him, right? So he has no control over them, but he wants this control over you. That would piss me off.
Right.
He wants to tell you what you can and can't say, what you can and can't do in
and
front of a
apparently
camera.
that's not even the same girl that she was mentioning, because when she looked at the picture, she was like, I don't even know this one.
Yeah.
So you don't even know which one this is. Like, girl, Mo.
It's a mess. It's a whole mess.
Anyway, I think there's only like a couple episodes left, because they're winding down pretty much. So I guess we'll see what's going to happen with the couples. I mean, we see in social media already what's going on with them. Yeah. But I guess we'll see where this next few episodes leads to.
I think everyone's pretty much still together except for Tiffany and Fizz, which they weren't.
And Nia and Soldier.
So
yeah.
All we need is a good separation from Mo and Carl, and we'll be in good shape.
Right, pretty much. So, again, that was episode 7.
Yep.
Episode 7 of Marriage Bootcamp. I want to thank you guys for joining us again on NYC Chat Room with Tiffany and Lauren. Again, just let us know what you thought about it. And also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.